And we're back, and this time I'm not doing this during a stream because I have something a little more fast pace in mind for a stream, because this is kind of slow for a live stream. But I'll still continue the game because it's interesting. We're here. Having followed the young man's direction dutifully, we arrived at an old pawn shop outside the city. So there really are places that still only accept local currency. Outside of Rugenheim, I suppose the use of currency is still commonplace. While Rugenheim has moved beyond using money, the rest of the Alliance still uses the same as their common currency. Okay. We can no longer act under the presumption that our cultures share anything in common. Agreed. Is something wrong? No, it's just I've never seen or touched real money before. Kinda exciting, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty exciting. We've never needed it, so I suppose it's only natural. But you've at least seen a sane note before, haven't you? Of course I have, but seeing and feeling are two completely different things. Logical, seeing as we've never had a need for it. And Father always told me that money is the embodiment of all evil. Well, he's not wrong. Contact with money would beckon forth the archdemon of avarice, a secule who would steal your soul. Okay, well, not that part. That's not right. Archdemon of avarice, seriously. I can't wait to see the city's currency. We're close in age, but Selphine was a child at heart, and her curiosity about the world outside Rugenheim was overflowing. Money has always been deeply rooted in the foundation of any society. Some yearn for it, others do not. It is a necessary evil. At least I think it is. Whatever the case, our common sense as citizens of Rugenheim should be sound enough to fend off greed. At least I hope we can. I know, Rotona, I just wanted to savor the moment, that's all. The issue at hand for us now would be deciding what item to put up for collateral, and whether or not that item had any value in the eyes of the appraiser. Maybe a precious metal might work. Shall we? This is a bona fide platinum. Never seen platinum forged and polished into a blade quite like this. My collateral was the ceremonial dagger I received after being appointed Selphine's royal guardian. The appraiser's sash proprietor was beyond surprised when I presented it to him. Well, I mean, it's not like you need it if you can make that one, like, what was that called? I'll just call it adamantium, that adamantium sword. You don't really need a ceremonial dagger. I'm just overwhelmed with relief that the locals view platinum as a valuable commodity. Are you planning on selling this year, Butte, Missy? If at all possible, yes, it is of sentimental value to me, but I hope it will be of some worth to you. Wow, when did Rotona learn how to haggle? She's a pretty smooth talker. The blade itself is pretty well polished, like it's never been used. Is this an antique, Missy? No, I've never had to use it before. I received this dagger when I was 15, and I've had it on me for 4 years now. 4 years, and not once have you had to use it. Oh, Missy, if only I could age like this Butte right here. Time flies as you... Time flies right as you at my... Oh, this guy's way of talking is weird. But just looking at this new blade makes me brighten right up. If that's how you feel, then the emotional attachment you'll gain towards it will be priceless. Indeedy-do, Missy. I think the price I have in mind is appropriate for the quality of the craft. Oh, he's gonna give us an offer. Let's see, how does 500 gallows sound? I don't know how much that is. 500 gallows. Is something amiss, Missy? Is something amiss? I'll say something's... Oh, but that's her talking. Is something amiss? I'll say something's amiss. 4 years might mean nothing to you, but that's half my youth. I spent half my youth with that dagger, and those memories cannot be bought. This dagger was all that kept me company in times of dire duress. I speak the truth when I say the comfort this dagger brought me is worth more than 500 gallows. Oh, this makes absolutely no sense. What does your youth have to do with that dagger's value? How do your youth get mixed into the deal? Alright, Missy, how does 600 gallows sound? 600. You do both my dagger and youth injustice with such paltry appraisal. I see that neither has any significance to you. We shall take our leave. Clearly you see little value in possessing my treasured dagger. Just wait a moment now. This is 630 gallows. That's more than the fair price for your dagger, your youth, and it's me final offer. Oh, very well. I shall accept your final offer as a symbol of your understanding. I drive a real hard bargain, Missy, but I'm glad we have a deal. Tritona's evil grin. I haven't seen that grin in years. You know, like, you're accepting this money, but you don't even know, like, how much that really is. You really overcharged him, Ritona. Did you drive up the price because he was giving us a bad deal? No, of course not. I don't even know how much a gallow is worth, exactly. You don't know? Why? No, I just wanted to see how much more we could get before he refused to go any higher. I admit it was thrilling to see how much further I could push him. Who are you? You must be Secule in disguise. Please. We have more pressing matters to attend to. Ritona, what about the sediment stones? Oh. I completely forgot in the heat of the moment. Do you think that 630 gallows is enough for 2 sediment stones? I'm sure it'll be more than enough. Precious metal of platinum's value far exceeds that of a common ores. Pardon me, I forgot we're actually looking for one more thing. Oh, what kind of thing? We're looking for sediment stones specialized for monocraft. You could have heard a pin drop. Sediment stones? The proprietor's expressive grin suddenly turned grim. Yeah, sediment stones. Despite his apprehension, I must press on. Class 4 quality stones will do. 2 of the crudest cuts you have. He stared at me long and hard. His piercing stare exuded the exact pressure I placed on him during my haggle. And suddenly, his expression changed to a sly sneer. What's the matter with him? You know what, missies? I knew you must be traitors when I first saw you. You are, aren't you? Sort of, but that's not your concern. Yeah, what we need or not. If you don't have any, could you please tell us where we could find a store that does? Real traders would have passed through a town or two before now, though, so you'd know what's being traded in other towns, yes? So what's all this sediment stone stuff about? Are you belittling a man trying to make an honest living? Excuse me? No, you want me to spell it out? Is that the name of this game? Because if it is, I got a real mean streak, Missy. I swear I have no idea what you're talking about. You should know damn well that a dusty old pawn shop like this can never afford to have them precious sediment stones. Come again? Precious sediment stones. I know I'll never be able to afford sediment stones, but I don't need reminding. If that's all you want to ask, then please leave. You've done me enough harm for one day. Oh, wait a moment. Sediment stones are precious around here. That can't be right. Class 4 sediment stones are so common, every child in our kingdom has at least 1 or 2 to play with. It can't be. No, she hadn't just... I thought something was fishy about you two. You two really aren't from around here. You're both from another continent altogether, outsiders. Outsiders? So Class 4 sediment rocks are so common where you're from that every grubby run around has more than one. You just call us outsiders. I realize you're taking offense, but please answer me this. Is this region the Outer Pole? Outer Pole? You're not really asking me this, are you? How could you two survive as traveling traders if you don't even know where it is you're traveling? We have our reasons. Answer me this and we'll be on our way. We will ask no more. Oh, for the love of all mana. Yes, Missy, you're on the Outer Pole. Specifically southwest from the middle of the second pole in the 3rd sector. Right now you're just outside Kadia City. The 3rd sector is the largest region on the whole continent. Reason being that the Outer Pole is more of an island than a continent. I honestly hope you both got that. From where do you two hail anyway? The 2nd pole, Ritana? We've been swept to the other side of the planet. Chapter 2, huh? Oh, look at that, I got an achievement. That's more achievements than I got in all of If My Heart Had Wings. You have my gratitude, good sir. Let's be on our way. Okay. Hold your horses, but Bonnie. Missy over there said that you two are in need of sediment stones. Only mana crafters have any use for them. Normal folk like myself only care for the pretty price they fetch. Are you two actually mana crafters? Pardon us, good sir, but we cannot answer that. It makes no difference to me whether you answer or not. I just want to mention something for your sake. This here be the Outer Pole, and the Outer Pole be godforsaken continent bereft of mana, monolines, mana stream. If it's mana you're after, then you come to the wrong continent. You won't find any mana crafters on the Outer Pole, no siree. Mana lines around here be about as thick as string with about as much mana, no point in learning Minecraft. Folk on the outer pole and us Cadians ain't got it so good, unlike the rest of the world that sees Minecraft used every day. But it ain't all gloom and doom, dearies. We've found ways to make do without mana. We've got our own problem-solving method, we call it science. Magic versus science, alright, we're going into some basic territory, that's nice. With science, we're able to physically tap into those fiddly mana lines and drain what little there was for whatever we need. Oh, I thought he meant like they were gonna have like cool mechanical things that didn't use mana at all. Do you know where I'm going with this, Missy? I have the gist of it. Mana is the source of all life on this planet. Every living thing has purified mana swirling inside them. We on the outer pole need purified mana for energy, just like everyone else, desperate for it, in fact. The only difference is that we can't tap into that mine full of purified mana, not like you, Missy. So before science, you needed help from mana crafters? That's the gist. There's nothing more precious on this godforsaken continent than mana. What good is it, though, if you can't manipulate it? Which is why sediment stones are ridiculously expensive. They can store purified mana siphoned from the body. Even now, there are money-grubbing mana crafters who want to sell sediment stones brimming with purified mana to the highest bidder. Where do you think they get their purified mana from? Think you know where I'm going with this, Missy? They kidnap people to siphon mana from. They only regenerate so much daily, so they must have kidnapped as many as they could for a constant supply. Word to the wise, Missy. Cadians don't take kindly to mana crafters for those reasons, or outsiders for that matter. Keep your mana craft powers concealed. Don't tell folks that you're looking for the crudest cuts of sediment stones. You're going to be an outlet for their frustration. Even with the advent of science, we remember that it's what it's like to go without mana. Not a speck of mana shall go wasted, they say. Thank you for your word of caution. Outsiders. Wow, why did this happen? What have we gotten ourselves into? I devoted 2 years to optimizing that blasted... Wait, hold on. Oh, I'm using my stream recording thing, but I'm not streaming, so whatever. I devoted 2 years to optimizing that blasted monoline. I even immersed myself in it to confirm its path to the emergency shelter. So why... What's the matter? I can't help but feel disgusted at myself. There's absolutely no reason to feel that way. When I was a child, Father always told me stories about the outer pole and the people who lived there. Father always made it sound like it was worlds away, so much that I thought monolith lands were a myth. And after what the proprietor just told us, I just can't help but feel disgusted at myself for feeling fortunate for having born in Rugenhide. Fortunate for never having experienced the hardships of living a life without the convenience of Minecraft. That's the first thing I felt too. Not empathy for the people or a desire to help, but how fortunate I was to be born ignorant to their suffering. I'm so selfish, Ratona, so selfish, it makes me sick to my stomach. Ignorance is bliss, but how can I rule Rugenhide if I'm this blind to the suffering that goes on beyond our walls? Well, I mean, you don't rule this stuff beyond your walls, so... whatever. You cannot expect to feel helpless if you've never been subjected to an experience that would evoke helplessness. Even if we possess the capacity to help these people, we have to set our priorities straight, supplying them with mana to ensure their survival. Survival is not one of them. Everything is distraction until we return to Rugenhide. End it there. I know, Ratona, but I can't shake this feeling of self-loathing. You guys are just like talking about this in the middle of the street. You know, Ratona, the world isn't so small after all. Indeed. To be honest, I couldn't help but feel the same. Excuse me. Huh? I'm sorry if I surprised you. I bit my tongue. I didn't mean to scare you. Well, you sure got my pulse up. I couldn't sense her presence before she spoke up. How did she do it? I know this will sound weird coming from a stranger, but if you don't mind me asking, are you two visiting from another place? Oh, well... Oh no, they're looking at me funny. They totally think I'm a creeper. Yeah, where are my manners? My name is... Your name is... Oh, my name is Rune. And I'm sorry if I scared you. You think you two could forgive me if I took you both on a tour of the city? Wait a second, your name is Rune? No. Sorry about the stutter, but it's just Rune. I know, I'm just teasing. Suppose teasing someone for stuttering is still humorous to Selphine. I know it's a real odd request to make of strangers, but there's something about you two that I just can't wrap my tongue around. Oh wait, that came out wrong. What is wrong with this girl? While we'd love to take you up on your offer, you obviously have an ulterior motive concealed under the guise of charity. What are you really after? I'm not after anything, really. You make it sound like I'm gonna entrap you and rob you of your gallows or something. Actually, that's a lie. I admit that I do have a little bit of an ulterior motive. I'm just cementing the image of a creeper in your eyes with everything I say, aren't I? That and you've admitted to actually having an ulterior motive for guiding us around. You got it all wrong. It's nothing that'll hurt you or anything. I just thought I'd share some background about Kadia City on our little tour, getting you both familiarized with the locale and whatnot. Before addressing you down with who and where and stuff, I just kinda wanted you two to open up to me. God, this music is getting loud. I have to turn down my headset. Jeez. And that's your ulterior motive? Well, no, they think I'm a freak. I was way better off being thought of as a creeper. Just to clarify, I'm not usually this clumsy with my words, usually. Mind in my mouth, I'm just having an awful off day, so I'd appreciate it if you both could stop staring at me with those looks of intense pity. They really sting, okay? Sure, but could you just hang on for just a second? That sounds weird. Sure. Let's take her up on our offer, Tona. We need a guide, and she seems tame enough. I concur on the lack of malintent, but there's a subtle lack of everything in general. I can't sense anything from her. No happiness, no anger, no sadness, nothing. What do you propose? I say we take her up on her offer, because really we still need a guide. Besides, we have to find our sediment stones before anything else. Very well. However, if she initiates a suspicious line of inquiry that's too intrusive, we agree to leave her company. Does that include our names, too? Realistically speaking, I don't think using pseudonyms would be feasible, especially if we fail to respond to them. We should use our first names and make no mention of our surnames. Agreed. Is everything okay? Do you two need more time? Oh, sorry about that, Rune. It's Rune, right? Yes, it is, but I'd really appreciate it if you didn't say it aloud so much. I mean, it's a really silly name, isn't it? I don't think it is, but if you don't want us to call you by Rune, then what name would you prefer? What name? I'm sorry, please just call me Rune. Then it's settled. Rune it is. I've heard that joke already. Come on, Rune, let's get our tour started. Sure thing. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me at any time. She has such a stunning smile, and she looks so elegant, too. I wonder if we're the same age. Your name's Selphine. Well, that's such a pretty-sounding name. Thank you, Rune, and to be honest, I've always been quite fond of it, so please say it as much as you like. Never knew outsiders had such pretty names. So, what's your name? My name is Ratona. I apologize for glaring at you earlier. It was quite rude of me, and I shouldn't have reacted as I did. Please, there's no need to apologize. If anything, I got what I deserved. Selphine's friend is really pretty, too. What's the matter, Rune? It's nothing. I was just taken aback by how beautiful you both are. Super creeper, stop saying stuff that'll make him feel uncomfortable around you. Thank you for the compliment, but I think you're quite beautiful yourself, Rune, more so than I, myself. No way, there's no way I'm more beautiful than you, Miss Selphine. No way, no how. Don't be silly, Rune. She's very beautiful, isn't she, Ratona? Personally, I would prefer it if you didn't put me on the spot. While I'm still on the spot, I should mention that we're in need of a few things, Miss Rune. Alright, you were looking for something you couldn't find at the pawn shop, right? Wait, you were at the pawn shop that we just left? No, well, yes I was. I overheard your conversation with the owner. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but there was nobody else around at the time, and I thought it wouldn't hurt to tune in a little. I really can't sense anything problematic from her. She's so expressive, but this hollow emptiness of hers troubles me. She's a wound in the Force. So, what exactly are you two looking for? If you can describe it, I can help you find it. Oh, certainly. We're in need of a few supplies for the long trek back to our homeland. We need a map, canteens, a sufficient supply of water, cured meat. Oh wow, you need all of that just to get back home, huh? Well, you're in luck, because I know where to get all that stuff. We'll just stop by a few shops to carry the best of the best. Let's go. But we need sediment stones and clothing first. Tona, what are you waiting for? Hurry up before you get left behind. Oh, they're leaving without me. You see, when they said science, I was thinking of, okay, well, how on earth do I hide that? I don't know. I was thinking about that stuff down there with all the gears. I was like, wow, look at that. This looks like a very industrial thing. It doesn't use magic at all. I was about to be like, oh man, we're going to have like something about magic versus science like we usually have in these things. But nope, I guess they just use science too, which is kind of meh. Can't believe we got all the supplies we needed. And kept well within our budget. We have more than 300 gallows left to spend. Oh, I guess they are valuable. You got it all at a discount because you're with me. Believe it or not, the people around here treat me unusually well. So if there's anything else you need, just let me know and they'll take care of it for us at a discount. Are you sure, Rune, you're not busy with anything today? Not at all. In fact, this is my day off from work, so the timing couldn't be any better. Besides, I was the one who wanted to take you out for a tour of the city. I think we have the supplies covered. Is there anything else we need, Rutana? Yes, there is. What's missing? The two things that still require immediate attention? Oh. We haven't covered the sediment stones or looked at a boutique for clothes. At least we've narrowed it down. Rune. Yes, Mr. Rune? Are there any shops in the city that sell sediment stones? Sediment stones. We're gonna need them now more than ever, given the lack of monolines within the crust of this continent. Well, I do know where they sell them, but I'm not sure they'd sell those to just anyone, even if you're with me. Sure, I know the person who sells them, but he's still very selective. I mean, they do fetch for a pretty high price. It won't be an issue. Just tell me where to find the store, and we'll handle the rest. Tona's right, Rune. You helped us out so much already, but I can't help feel awful. It feels like all we've done is take advantage of you. And if that's how you really feel, I suppose I'll have to take you both there myself. Good day to you all. What a sight for sore eyes. I haven't seen such a beautiful trio in years. Good day to you. Good day to you, Missy. What can I do for you on this fine afternoon? Well, I need to speak to the owner of the establishment. You do you? As much as I'd love to oblige you, I must ask about any inquiries involving the owner. Oh, well, you know, whatever needed discussing. Rune chose not to share her reasoning. Rather, she whispered in the clerk's ear. And suddenly... Master Zevitz. Have mercy, please. I'll get that good-for-nothing right this second. The clerk paled, jerking his head away from Rune, and dashed back into the storeroom. No, I apologize for the hold-up. That good-for-nothing clerk of mine was being sassy to you anyway. Please, that won't be necessary. He wasn't sassy in the least. He was very loyal and receptive, if anything. I thought Master Zavitz would have at least given us prior notice of your arrival. If he had, I would have... Aren't you, Master Zavitz? The owner's gaze appeared to scan every inch of Rune's face deeply. No, I'm here because he needs something specific. This is specific. Did Master Zevitz send you here to conduct a surprise inspection for something specific? What is wrong with this man? He's gone off on a tangent with the utterance of a single word. I'm not here to do anything like that. Accused, and I repeat, does it have an end? I understand now. You two are the ones who have business with me. We apologize for causing this confusing chain of events, but we really do require your assistance. No apologies necessary, miss. Why, any friend of Master Zevitz is a friend of mine, and all my friends are fellow merchants, so you are too. Merchants, us. Alright, Miss Rutona, you are looking for 2 Class 4 cuts of sediment stones, correct? You need 2 sediment stones, do you? Very well. I believe I have the desired Class 4 cuts of sediment stones somewhere in storage. They've also been evaluated at a fair price against the current market value. You go have the guards release the lock on storage unit A. Understood. While we wait for him to retrieve the sediment stones, why don't you 3 join me in my personal lounge? Yeah, no thank you. I think we'll just stay out here. Here, personal lounge? Please, I insist that you must all be treated with an experience of leisure and relaxation within my establishment. It's the least I can do. You know, we're just here to pick up some rocks and we're leaving. We're not staying. Okay, then. Tone, is it me or does it feel like a simple errand just turned into a complicated chore? Whoops. Yeah. I do apologize for the relatively long wait. You'll find the finest cuts of Class 4 sediment stones in this case. I thought it may be to your benefit if I brought out cuts of Class 1 and 1 and on 2. Each have their own separate cases. Do take your time. Thank you, sir. These are beautiful, well-crafted cases, but it's hard to believe they're so valuable. What do you think of these stones, Mr. Tona? I don't believe this. Can't tell or determine their class, even if they're sediment stones with my diminished amount of dowsing abilities. Sediment describes 2 subtypes of stones used by monocrafters. One is normally impervious, okay. Stones which have slowly siphoned trace amounts of mana from underground. These are called natural sediments. Natural sediments appear no different from common stones, but they are capable of siphoning all subtypes of mana, including purified mana. The other is an augmented variant of natural sediment stones, which store and replenish mana. They'll hold certain volumes of specific mana subtypes, which makes them ideal for casting monocraft. Thus they're referred to as crafter sediments. Monocrafters refer to sediment stones, they usually mean the latter. The classes of crafter sediment stones refer to the degree of mana purity retention. While they can retain all subtypes of mana, conflict among the other subtypes may arise based on the affinity of the natural sediment stone. For example, a well-balanced natural sediment stone that is augmented into a crafter sediment stone will hold pyro mana without conflicting with other mana subtypes. These are class 1 stones. However, low-class stones can pollute their contents, changing the subtype of stored mana, thus making this stone unfit for precise crafting. For example, aqua mana stored in a Terra-aligned stone could become polluted and turn into Terra mana over time. The longer the natural sediment stone is within an aligned mana stream, the greater its affinity with certain mana subtypes, which means that the augmentation process and quality of a natural sediment stone determines its class, also affecting its chance of affinity alteration of stored mana. Man, this game goes on to like these huge descriptive tangents. However, the lower the class of a sediment stone, the more difficult it is for a monocrafter to utilize. Rooks and Hide class 1 sediment stones are stored to their maximum capacities with purified mana for authentication before distribution. The non-elemental affiliation of purified mana proves useful in this aspect, as any affinity alteration will immediately become evident when stored into a sediment stone. This is the standard practice for identifying the quality and cuts of sediment stones. Whew. This case containing class 1 sediment stones are the easiest to identify, as the purified mana stored within emits a translucent glow to the naked eye. However, these class 1 sediment stones display a slight tinge of affinity alteration. I would have designated these as class 2 sediment stones. Enough of the hypothetical prattle. I am not the proprietor here. I can't help but feel as if these clumps of dirt do nothing but soil the fine linen and interior of the cases which contain them. It's comedic, in fact. It's almost as if this proprietor had the local children fill these fine cases with every stone and dirt clump they could find. The only disturbable sediment stone is this class 3 sediment stone. This appears to be the only true class 3 sediment stone amongst the rest of this rabble. Okay, I need to take a drink after all that. Sheesh. You have a keen eye for quality, young lady. I would expect nothing less from an acquaintance of Master Zevitz. This is definitely a class 3 sediment stone, and yet there's something peculiar about the cut of it. The basic augmentation process, which transforms a natural sediment stone to a crafter sediment stone, has protective properties which prevent seepage. Augmenters always incorporate a seal of some sort into their sediment stones as the final step, but this particular stone doesn't appear to have that standard seal. Yet, no seepage is occurring either. Wow, Mr. Tona, color me impressed. I didn't know you could tell sediment stones apart just by looking at them. Well, I suppose I can, but to a certain degree. So, what is the price of this cut? Oh, the price, how silly of me. Here it is. Beg your pardon? So many numbers. Is this what they call highway robbery? You think so, Miss Selphine? It's actually the standard asking price for Class 3 sediment stones. Again, I do feel that these sediment stones have been fairly evaluated and priced. The pawnshop proprietor wasn't speaking in jest. He really can't afford to carry anything around with this absurd of an asking price. And this Class 2 sediment stone is just like the lack of a standard seal is evident here, too. And the Class 3 and Class 4, what kind of augmentation process did these undergo? Is there something amiss, young lady? Well, I'm just at a loss for words to describe the strange treatment these sediment stones underwent. How should I explain it? I'm not sure I fully understand why I got a trading card. Why these sediment stones lack the standard seals from the augmentation process. Why are they so complex? Without the standard seals, weak as they are, crafter sediment stones cannot store any mana subtype. Some augmenters intentionally incorporate unconventional seals, but I don't think that's the case here. May I presume that the young lady is very invested in these sediment stones? Miss Selphine? These are the newest prototype sediment stones created from the latest compressor available on the market. The mana compression rate is double that of anything commercially available, making them ideal when you need to store mana on the go. And is Class 3. I understand your concerns regarding the complexities of these particular seals. However, lower price means lower cut quality, making it more difficult to remove the seal. Mind you, these prototypes were designed with normal Cadians in mind. Why should we be bound by their standard seals? Young lady, you wouldn't be using this sediment stone for anything other than sheer amusement within a conventional compressor, would you? Of course not. What's the matter? Could you tell me what a compressor is? I beg your pardon? A compressor is a device that siphons mana from the mana stream and converts them within these very sediment stones. Device? You mean these devices created the unusual seals on all these sediment stones? Why yes, these devices did indeed. Then these sediment stones weren't imbued with the purified mana of mana crafters. Ratona. Oh my. Gosh, Miss Selphine, you never told me Mr. Ratona was a comedian. Sure. That was a very good joke indeed. Couldn't even tell it was a joke. Your deadpan is flawless. Why, my humble establishment has no need for a crafter sediment stones. The price would be astronomical. And do you know what they say about mana crafters these days? Their depravity knows no limit. I couldn't agree with you more. I never thought the master would have such comedic acquaintances. Without your interjection, I'm afraid I would have taken the joke seriously. What master is he referring to? Oh no. But what's going on? Okay. I forgot we had another errand to run. What? But Miss Rune, what about our transaction? I'm sorry, but this is one errand we can't afford to skip over. Jeez. Have a nice day. Good. Just a moment, Miss Rune. Whew. What was that all about? It's the second time you scared me half to death today. I apologize for the unplanned escape, but the proprietor was starting to see through Mr. Tona's facade. Excuse me? No, it's nothing, Miss Selphie, and I just have a tendency to think out loud on too many occasions. But surely there must have been a better method to conclude the transaction without interrupting it entirely. That proprietor may never meet with us again. I suppose that's a possibility. I'm sorry, Mr. Tona. I've never been good at handling that sort of situation. So essentially, you're inflexible when it comes to conveying messages. You're the most peculiar person I've ever met. I can only hope they mean that in a positive way. Still can't believe how expensive a single Class 3 sediment stone is. We couldn't afford it even with the money we started with. Well, I suppose I could have... I apologize, Miss Selphine. I should have asked how much they were charging for sediment stones before he went to retrieve them. Please don't be sorry, Rune. It's not your fault that we can't afford them. If anything, we owe you for helping guide us around Cadia all day. She's right. I understand why you did what you did, and we are grateful for your assistance thus far. Yes, but that doesn't help you with your sediment stone problem. You might not be able to get them here with the standard asking price being what it is. I'm listening to the music. There's like this little snapping noise that sounds weird. The proprietor's prices are actually at Cadia's current market values for sediment stones. Are you certain of this? Please say no. In that case, I can only hope that Selphie and I never become separated. The sediment stones aside, I have a very important question for you, Rune. Yes? Do you possess some sort of celebrity status here in Cadia? I can't help but notice that everywhere we go, everyone seems to know your name. Really? Indeed, everyone we've encountered thus far has regarded you with incredible respect from the moment they see you. Are you some sort of royalty, Rune? Of course not. Just my line of work in Cadia is pretty peculiar, and unfortunately I can't really share the details. People we've run into so far just happen to know about the nature of my work, that's all. So it's private, but everyone knows and treats you unusually well. Do you work at a brothel? Ugh. You've got it all wrong, Miss Selphine. How did you even come to that conclusion? Well, you said it's a peculiar job. That's the only conclusion that can be reached. Mr. Tono, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm choking on my own saliva. You came to that conclusion with one word. I think you're taking a little too literally, Miss Selphine. It doesn't matter what her job is. It's late now. That reminds me, you wanted to know more about life on the outside, right, Rune? You wouldn't... Well, we're not done shopping for your supplies yet. We'll skip the sediment stones for now and head to a boutique next before dinner. We can talk all about the outside during dinner. That is, of course, if you'd like to dine with us tonight, Rune. We'd love to have her for dinner, right, Rotona? Have her for dinner, milady? Ugh. Are you serious? I'd love to, but I wouldn't want to impose any more than I already have. Impose, shmimpose. Ugh. You kept your end of the bargain, so we'll keep ours. That's what friends do for each other. What? Come on, you two. Let's go into a boutique. What? Understood. Friends. We're here. A wooden signboard stood outside the door leading into the boutique. It reads, Growlies. Okay. Gone to get smashed. Gone to get smashed, huh? That's some honesty. Couldn't agree more. It's almost as if they want to turn potential clients away. It's not too late in the day, but they've already gone and closed up. How curious. I'm so sorry. We should have started out our shopping spree here first. I agree, the unwanted attention we attracted during the entire course of the day was unbearable. Our attires really are too foreign for the locale. I should have known no one else here was wearing a cloak. Why should they? Cloaks in their specific dye are status symbols. For example, Minecrafters wear black cloaks. My outfit identifies me as a royal guardian. It's the most formal attire any servant may be entrusted. Selphine's peach-colored gown does nothing but exacerbate our eye-catching predicament. Her appearance is exactly that of a princess's, after all. I think I'll be okay for one night, Rotona. After we find some lodging for the night, I can always scrub away the dirt and dust. Restoring our clothes to pristine condition is important, but I'd like nothing more than a hot bath. I would like nothing more than to part with this stench of soil. Oi. Well, since the shopping trip's been put on hold, shall we find you some lodging? No, let's find somewhere to eat first. Is there any place we can eat that's nearby, Rune? Yay. Yay. Never seen you so excited over a simple meal. Of course I'm excited. I get to try a whole different cuisine. I guess that's true. I want to ask her how she could be in any way enthusiastic about being swept away from our homeland, but I restrained myself. If she can forget, even for a moment, about the misery of seeing Rune being burned to the ground, why take it from her? Why take it from her now, when Selphine will be haunted by those memories again tonight? Memory of our people falling to the blades of those shadow soldiers. If it wasn't for Rune, Selphine and I may have done nothing but brood over the loss of our homeland. Selphine wouldn't be as cheerful as she is now. I'm indebted to Rune for helping us take our minds off Rune. You're what? Okay, well, I think I'm going to end it there. Alright, thank you for watching. And goodbye. Bye.